let's go west.
Okay.
Let's go to, the Odessa, Midland area, and then kind of turn a little bit northwest and head to Andrews, to the home of the Andrews Mustangs. A great year last year, 11-2, and here to talk about his Mustangs is the head coach of Andrews. We are joined by Coach Ralph Mason. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing today?
Doing excellent. How are things in beautiful Andrews?
Well, the wind's not blowing too much,
Okay.
and it's a pretty nice day. We're getting some good work in.
Yeah, no complaints there. You have now been at Andrews, and I don't mean to date you, but you have been. This is your 6th year heading into here. How have you seen this program change? You've had tremendous success, 43-18 in your 5 years heading into this year. How have you seen this program change under your watch?
Well, it's been a neat thing to see. The thing that happens when you start to put in your program and your off-season philosophy and things like that is you see, a gradual change each and every year. And I would say that probably about my 3rd season here was an opportunity for us to start to witness the kids starting to really buy into what we wanted them to do. And then, of course, from that point to the present, it's done nothing but just get better.
I want to ask you about one particular game last year, and you already know where I'm going with this.
Probably so.
Probably the game. Yes, of course, we want to talk about your win over Lubbock. No, I'm kidding. Of course, we want to talk about 77-76, an overtime win over Levelland, one of the highest-scoring games in Texas high school football history. I mean, going into that game, you couldn't have predicted anything like that, but did you have kind of a feeling that game could be a bit of a shootout?
We knew it was going to be a high-scoring game, most likely. Of course, you want to have a little optimism and think that your defense is going to shut them down. But realistically, it was two really good offensive football teams going head-to-head. And so, we anticipated not what happened, but we did anticipate a lot of points being scored.
And, of course, you have the opportunity to coach a tremendous quarterback. A lot of folks talk about Nick Gerber on the other side, but Tristan Williams put together an incredible year last year. I know that he is off to the next level, going to take his talents to Midwestern State. As a guy who got to see him grow up, how special was a kid like Tristan Williams?
Extremely special in a lot of ways. Probably one of the better ones that I've had the opportunity to coach in 38 years. And, the thing about it is our seniors this year, they were 8th graders when I came. And, of course, our juniors, they were 7th grade. So that's that complete turnover that I was talking about earlier in our program. And, of course, Tristan, he not only had the physical dimension and the big arm, but he had the preparation side of it too. The kid probably watched more film than any kid I've ever had. If you were just to mention a game right now, he could probably tell you what happened play by play before you ever got to that play, as we were rolling film. So, he did an excellent job of preparation, becoming a leader. He took control of the ball club just like I expect quarterbacks to do.
We're talking with Ralph Mason, the head coach of the Andrews Mustangs here on DCTF Live. Get involved in the conversation at hashtag DCTF Live. And Coach, looking forward to 2017, I think it would be fashionable to look at the statistics and say, well, you're losing a nearly 4,000-yard passer in Tristan Williams. You're losing nearly a 1,200-yard rusher in Torrey Kelly. You're losing your leading receiver in Keegan Thompson. You are a high-octane attack. How do you replace guys like that who were so critical to your success last year?
Well, I don't know if you ever replace individuals that do the things they do, but because of our program, we depend a lot upon our work ethic and our camaraderie and things like that. We really feel good about our kids going in, and I'm watching them run. We're ending up our second phase where we're on the track with our skilled kids, and just to watch these kids work, the way they push themselves, we know we're going to have some candidates to step in. Now, they may not put up the same kind of numbers of what we're talking about, but I've got some kids that I think are really going to come in and do well. We feel real good about our offensive line coming back, and we feel like we can build off of that. And the kid that'll be taking over at quarterback, Jace Cassie, who actually started the game for us last year and played quite a bit. He's a great leader. He's a different style quarterback than Tristan, of course, but I mean, he's just he's kind of in the same mode as far as that preparation, excitement, leadership.
You guys have a lot of players that go both ways, and maybe more than the average for a team. Obviously, you've got some outstanding playmakers coming back. Casey Buck springs to mind, Noah Luan as well. For you, is this just a matter of keeping the best, most talented players on the field, or is there a particular strategy behind playing these guys both ways?
It's my philosophy. I believe in putting the best people on the field, and of course, a lot of the argument against that is the fatigue and those kind of things. But my philosophy is you get them in shape. Now, by the same token, though, however, on each side of the ball, we play a lot of kids. Now, a kid may start both ways, but that doesn't mean they're out there the whole time. And we kind of let that especially be true early in the year, and then when it comes down to those key games, then a kid may spend a little bit more time on the field than he normally does.
What kind of changes should we expect defensively? I know that you would prefer not to win games 77-76, and not every game went like that. But what can we expect from you guys defensively heading into 2017?
Well, I've got in my opinion, one of the better defensive coordinators in the area. If not one of the best in the States. He's a veteran coach, and Don Long, but the things that they constantly are doing is trying to find ways to adjust with the way the offenses are adjusting. Of course, nowadays with the spread offense, it deals mainly with coverages and things like that. I will say this on a side note, though, is one thing is we're not going to have to worry about defending Nick Gerber again, because that kind of speaks for itself. But our defensive coaches, they've been working film study and talking to people in clinics and things like that to try to make those necessary adjustments, because the game has changed so much in the last 10, 15 years, especially since we've started coaching. So it's just a different game, different animal, different mindset.
We're talking with Ralph Mason, the head coach of the Andrews Mustangs here on DCTF Live. Get involved in the conversation, hashtag DCTF Live. Coach, you guys are in one of the most unique districts in the state, District 2. That's one way to put it, I suppose. You guys were able to win it last year, but you guys do a little bit of traveling. San Elizario, Clint Fabens, Clint Mountain View. Not a lot of local teams. How do you balance that? How do you adjust your team, when realignment came out last year, to say, all right, guys, look, we're going to have to drive 4 hours to go play at Clint?
We kind of look at that as our mission side of our schedule, where we go on mission trips and stuff like that. But I tell you, it is a challenge. It's something that was new to us. I will say this: our first year wasn't. I guess it was somewhat of a change. I mean, it was a change, but it didn't seem to affect us that much. The second year, we had a little difficulty with keeping our players up because we were playing, a pretty strong non-district schedule, and then moving into district. And this year, I thought our kids did an excellent job of being prepared mentally and physically, and really, I felt like each and every one of those games, we probably played to our potential.
And then I want to ask you about another one of your players, a particularly special player on your squad. Lakota Way is a guy who is a really interesting character, a guy who, born without hands on either of his limbs, and yet is a playmaker for you guys. I know he's been swimming and weightlifting. It sure seems like you got a real special kid on your roster.
Well, Lakota is a special kid in a lot of ways, and just the mere fact that he is willing to take the chance to try to do a lot of these things is pretty amazing within itself, and to overcome that mentally, because he does have the struggles that more so than maybe someone else because of those limitations. But and believe it or not, Lakota attended my quarterback meeting this morning. In the spring, we have voluntary meetings where I make myself available and we start talking about some of the things. And Lakota is obviously a lineman, but that's the kind of kid he is. He was the first one in the door this morning, and he's since given up swimming, but he's still with us in football. And of course, with that comes the weights and the running and things like that.
It's an easy guy to root for, on an easy team to root for, the Andrews Mustangs. Coach Ralph Mason. Coach, appreciate your time. Enjoy your off season. Maybe get a little bit of sleep here and there, but best of luck down the road.
We sure appreciate it. Mustangs is a great place. Andrews is a great place to be, and as I always end a lot of my radio shows, I just say it's a great day to be a Mustang.
It sure is. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
There he goes, Ralph Mason, head coach, Andrews Mustangs. There is nobody in the world who is happier to see Nick Gerber leave than Andrews. He torched him twice. They won the first one, they lose in the playoffs in their rematch.
You wish it'd be the other way.
Sure, exactly. You'd rather lose 77-76 and then do that. They do have some headliners to replace.
Yeah.
When you lose those types of playmakers offensively, they're going to have some holes to fill. But that said, I think the defense can be a little bit better. I think they're the best team in that district, even with the travel. Go look up District 2-4-AD1, and you'll see what I mean. They're playing Clint and Clint Horizon, who are basically in El Paso.
Yeah.
And that's a 4-hour drive for them. I think they're the best team in that district. I think they're probably the favorites to repeat as district champions. They do have some holes to fill offensively, and Coach doesn't want us to have to score 77 points to win every game, but he may not need to, because I think that defense, looks like it may be better with Noah Lewin and Casey Buck and all those guys they've got going both ways. So it's an interesting team. It's a real interesting team out there, and of course we wish them the best of luck.